Good. Yeah. So what we're gonna do today, we're gonna bake Jamaican sweet potato pudding. The easy way. That's what we're working on right now. We're gonna blend all the ingredients. Normally you use a grater. Right? Normally you use this to do all your ingredients to put in your pudding. But today we're gonna make it easy. We're gonna blend them. So the first thing I'm gonna do is get them ready. Get all the ingredients ready, Freddy. Cool? Cool. Get the blender ready. Everything is gonna be blend. Everything is gonna be blend. Got no time to grate or anything today. So years ago we grew up with this. This is what we used years ago. This is what we grew up with. The grater. The grater, your coconut, your sweet potato, all the ingredients that you put into the sweet potato pudding, okay? We used to use this, but now we're gonna use this to make it easier. And for some reason, the old way tastes a little bit better, but no stress. We're gonna get it close as possible. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're gonna get it very close. It's gonna be a small pudding, not a big pudding. Sweet potato pudding, because we don't have a lot of ingredients. We only need one coconut, really. We're gonna break this coconut. Hopefully it's good, because if it's not good, we can't make no pudding. And it's good. I have some nice water in there. I'm gonna drink this water right away. Coconut. It's a dry coconut right here, okay? Break this coconut up, get it ready. Alright. We're gonna get it out of the shell. These coconut shells are very sharp, okay? So be careful. I've been doing this shit for years. If you're new to the game, take as much precautionary measures as you can. Because getting this dry coconut out is not a joke. And if you have to break it into smaller pieces, go for it. I've been doing this for years and years and years. Right? And you could still hurt yourself even if you've been doing it for a long time. So you get it out of the shell like this. This is the coconut, you get it out the shell. You understand? This is trash. It's very sharp edges that goes in the trash. Get this one out the shell. Right? This goes in the trash. Same thing. All the ingredients, we're going to blend them. We're going to blend all these ingredients. We don't have no time for the grater. That's back in the days. I don't have time for it today. So, but sometime when I do make sweet potato pudding, I do use the grater, okay? Just to keep that old school flavor. Yeah, I use the grater at times. To grater all my ingredients. I don't have the time this evening. After work, there's only so much you can do. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah. like I said, the edges of these dry coconut shells are very sharp. Be extra cautious with them. See it? This could slice like a razor, like a literal razor. This could slice you. So you might want to be careful with that. If you ever step on it outside, like back in Jamaica, growing up in Jamaica, when you throw that coconut trash outside in the yard or in the trash, and the kids run around and they step on that coconut shell, they're gonna end up in the hospital. I've seen it many times before. They end up in the hospital, okay? Why? Because the coconut shell is like a razor blade, extremely sharp. Okay, we need another knife to peel something else. So, okay, we got the coconut. So this is the sweet potato. We're gonna peel the sweet potato, okay? And all of these things, we're gonna cut them up into blending size. Okay, we're gonna cut them up into blendable sizes so they could fit in the blender. And what we're gonna do when they're in the blender is just add a small amount of water in the blender. Because remember, we need our sweet potato pudding paste to be very thick, right? So when we put it in the oven, it could bake real quick. I would have to sit and wait for 10 days for it to dry out in the oven. All right, so this is a fast and easy way to make sweet potato pudding. Okay, this used to be an all day thing growing up in Jamaica. It used to be all day. Baking a sweet potato pudding used to be the entire day. Now I'm going to show you how to do it in 30 minutes or less. Okay, so we already got at 7 minutes. So now we got some ginger. We're going to put this ginger in there also, okay? We found a little bits of ginger. So we got coconut, sweet potato, we have some ginger, we have some more root food, some cassava. I'm going to peel this little bump of cassava. Most of it's spoiled. I cut off the pieces that's spoiled, so we only got a little piece left, but it still could be useful in your sweet potato pudding, okay? Piece of cassava, another piece of cassava that we add. All right, peel it. Okay, that goes in there also. And they call this what? Malanga Blanca, product of Ecuador. Right? Malanga Blanca, whatever it is. Okay. Maybe in Jamaica they call it turnip or some type of root food. But we're going to put this in there also. You could put yellow yams and that type of stuff in sweet potato puddings, okay? These are the type of stuff you could put in a sweet potato pudding. This is a very heavy food. We're going to put flour, all-purpose flour. We're going to put a pinch of cornmeal in it. What I used to do in the past when I make sweet potato puddings is, I used to blend up a lot of mixtures and not realizing that a little bit of this and a little bit of that add up to a large amount. So I used to end up with a lot of paste and mixture. So usually I'll bake like 2 puddings, sometimes 3. But I quit doing that because sometimes when you bake the pudding, they just sit there, you get what I'm saying, and may go to waste. Even though sweet potato pudding, this is another root food. I think it's the same thing, right? Or something similar like that. Not dasheen, turnip. Because these are root foods, they're very heavy. Okay, so when you add like cornmeal to it, once you get a bite of this sweet potato pudding, you're pretty much full for almost the entire day. Okay, like a slice of this could be for your lunch at work. And when you get home, you probably don't feel hungry. Probably won't feel hungry. You know what I'm saying? You could put yellow yams, white yams, dasheen, all types of stuff in sweet potato puddings, okay? Alright, so now we finished cutting up our ingredients. Now we finished peeling our ingredients. We're gonna wash them. Wash these ingredients. Okay, we're gonna wash them and then we're gonna cut them up. So this is your sweet potato right here. That's your sweet potato. That's your cassava. Another piece of cassava. Another root food. Right, coconut. Okay, coconut again. Coconut. Coconut again. Another root food. Piece of cassava. Coconut. Dry coconut. Ginger root. Okay, that's ginger root. Some more dry coconut. And that's it. So to make it simple and easy, we're going to cut these up. Okay, and then we're going to get them in the blender. So cut them up into blendable sizes. Okay. And when we're blending these, we're going to add just a small amount of water in there. Blendable sizes. Okay, little small pieces like so. Let me show you what I'm doing right here. Small pieces, okay? That can blend in the blender. So we cut them up like this. And if we have to blend this 2 or 3 times, it's okay. Right? It doesn't matter. That's all we're doing right here. Okay, dry coconut. If we have to blend it 2 or 3 times so everything could fit in the blender, it doesn't matter because everything is going to be mixed together eventually. Okay, this is sweet potato pudding, the Jamaican way. Here's some more root food. Cut it up. This is the fast and easy way to do it. For those who grew up in Jamaica, you know what I'm talking about. This was an all-day event right here. Got some ginger root, put some ginger in there. Ginger in there, ginger. More root food. Okay, cassava. Cut this up. Cassava again. Cassava. Right. More coconut dry. More dry coconut. The next thing we're going to put in there is some pimento seeds. I'm going to put some pimento seeds in there, okay? We're going to put them in the blender. Blend them with the mix. And this is your sweet potato. I just have one sweet potato. Right? And all these root foods, if I don't use them, they're going to be spoiled in a few days. I mean, root foods could stay in your house for a little while, but they don't last that long. You know, 2, 3 days, a week in some cases. But why let them go to waste when I could just cut up everything right here and turn it into a sweet potato pudding that I could take to work for lunch. You could do the same thing at home. You know what I'm saying? And this is best enjoyed with milk, you know, because it's so heavy. So there's your mixture right here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get a container so we can pour it in after we blend it. All right? So we could pour it in after we blend it. Boom, boom, boom. Here's our blender. It's ready to go. Okay? Next stop, pour it in there. Pour it in there. And that's enough because it's heavy. This is a very heavy mix. Okay, so we're going to put some water in there. As minimum amount of water as possible. That's what we're going to put in there. As less amount of water as possible. Like this, right here. That's enough right there. Okay? Then, we're going to add some pimento seeds. We got some pimento seeds right here, okay? Pimento seeds. There they go. We have a few right here. So we're going to throw it in the blender also because we're going to add some pimento seeds to it. Then we cover a blender, right? Boom, pimento seeds. And look what we got. Cinnamon sticks that we're going to put in there. We got nutmeg that's going to go in there also. And we got some vanilla that's also going to go in there, okay? But that's not right this second. All right, so salt also, we're going to put some salt eventually in there. Just a little pinch of salt. All right, so let's blend this up right away. What's up, brother? Diesel Boy 420. What are you cooking? I'm making a sweet potato pudding, a Jamaican sweet potato pudding. That's what I'm doing. But I'm doing it the new way. Back in the days, we used to use this to make a sweet potato pudding, like a grater. We used to grater things for take days to make all this ingredients, grater it. But now I'm using the blender to blend it. What's for dinner? ABC. This is what I'm making for dinner, actually. You know what I'm saying? And that's about as... This puree is good enough right here. We don't need it to be much more fine, right? Because we're going to add flour and cornmeal to it, right? So that one right there, we learned that there's too much water in that. So we don't need to put that much water in there in the next blend. So it looks like we're going to have 3 blends right here, right? Okay, cool. So now I'm going to add a little bit of water. I think that's probably good enough right there. You know what I'm saying? That water is probably good enough right there. You need a heavy paste. Here we go. Different. Use some of the first mix we use, right, to pour back in there because it's very watery in the first mix, so we can get that blend going real nice. Boom, here we go again, another blend. Speed. And one good thing is use varying speeds on your blender, okay? Varying speeds. So you get a nice blend. Okay, so this is about how thick you want it. Okay, that's a nice mix right there. You don't want it much more watery than that. Okay, I'm gonna pour this out. Then we're gonna put our next blend in. This is our final blend right here. Okay, and then all these blends are gonna be added together. And then we're gonna put flour. We're gonna put some cornmeal, right, in there. Okay, so we can use some of this same mix. Some of this same blend poured on top of this one, right? So we don't want to be adding too much water in there. So that could be the water right there for that blend. Now let's cover it and go. We will burn the motor. If the motor is burned, we have another blender. Here we have another blender. So if the motor is burned, we're going to use this one. It says use liquefy. Okay, soup puree. Use liquefy. Okay, I think that's good enough right here. Yeah, I think that puree is good enough right here. Right, we're gonna pour it in this transparent so you guys could see how it's going while it's going. And then the rest of the mix we're gonna add to this in a jiffy. So let's get everything we can out of this blender. Right? And just so we can add the rest of the ingredients in there. So get this blender out of the way so you can see what's going on. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. So what we're making again? Sweet potato pudding. Jamaican sweet potato pudding. We're doing it the new way. We don't have no time for that grater today, except for when we're doing the cinnamon sticks. We're going to use the grater for the cinnamon sticks. So here's the rest of the mix. We're going to pour in here everything together. Right? That's the rest of the blend. Pour it in here. Okay. So boom, boom, boom. That's that. Our next step is, this is our mix right here. Okay. This is that's a really big pudding. That's a big pudding. What do you think or not? All right. And you saw the amount of ingredients that I started out with. That's why I'm very careful when I'm making a sweet potato pudding, not to get too coconuts and all this other stuff. Because by the time you have the rest of the ingredients, you're going to come up with a lot of mixture, okay? Just like this right here. So now we're going to add our nutmeg. Here's our nutmeg. We're going to add some nutmeg in there. So boom, add nutmeg in there, okay? Add your nutmeg in there. All right, I like a lot of nutmeg. Some people don't, that's fine. So we already had it in nutmeg. We could put it away. Put that away. We need a pinch of salt. Like literally just a pinch. Boom, boom, boom. Right? That's it for salt. Put our salt away. We need some vanilla. I like a lot of vanilla. You see that? Vanilla. Right? So we're going to put some vanilla in there like this. So, right? Just like that. We'll put some more. Good. Put this away. Then we're going to put our cinnamon sticks. Okay, but this now we're going to use the grater. This is the grater, right? So we're going to grate some cinnamon sticks in there. You can blend your cinnamon sticks. Some people like to blend your cinnamon sticks. I like to use the grater. Okay, so grate some cinnamon sticks, just like this. A lot of cinnamon sticks. Gives it a very nice flavor. It's gonna give your sweet potato pudding a very, very nice flavor, okay? And that should be enough cinnamon. Put this away. Okay, that's a lot of cinnamon right there off this one stick right here. So let's put this cinnamon stick away for another day. Here we go. Put it back up here. Put it away. Okay, so what's next? We're going to add some flour in there. Some all-purpose flour. Now, before we add some flour, we're going to add some cornmeal. Some cornmeal, and now it's going to get thicker. Right? It's going to get thicker. Let's mix it around. See what we come up with. Mix it around. Remember we added nutmeg, cinnamon sticks, salt, all this other stuff. And now we're getting to the paste we need. It's getting a little bit thicker. I told you it was going to get thick. You know what I'm saying? So don't worry about that extra water stuff. It looks kind of watery to start out. So once you had your cornmeal, you realize it's getting thick, right? So when you add your flour, which your flour is going to grab all the ingredients together. One of the things I learned over the years of making sweet potato pudding is not to put too much flour in there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you could put different stuff. You could probably even put oatmeal in this thing right here. You could put oatmeal. You could put some bulgur in there. You know, it's all, it depends on what you like. So sweet potato pudding. Whatever you like, okay? All right, let's put the flour in there. You know what? Let's put sugar first. We're going to put some sugar. All right, here goes the sugar. I don't measure stuff, okay? I've been doing it for a while. I just know right about the right amount. Pure cane sugar. I use brown sugar. You could use white sugar or whatever. Liquid sugar. I use the old school brown sugar, okay? And I don't measure stuff because I've been doing these things for years. So I just know right about the right amount, kind of eyeball it and put in there, whatever it is, okay? So now we're going to add the flour in there. We're going to add some flour to it, okay? And it's going to get really grabby and thick. All right, and all I'm going to do is this right here. Like I said, I don't measure stuff. Maybe you need to measure stuff because you're trying out stuff or just learning to cook or whatever, or bake, I don't know. All right, or just for your own peace of mind so you don't overdo stuff or underdo stuff, you can go ahead and measure it. All right. This is it right here. All right, I think we got everything we need. But the next important ingredient, we're gonna put some raisins in there. All right, mix it around like so. So now we can get our oven going. Let's turn on the oven, get it going. Boom, set it about 350, 375. Okay, you see that thickness right here? That's how you want it. Or even thicker is good. Okay. Yeah. So let's gotta put some raisins in there. You're gonna love this, believe me. Okay, we have our raisins, seedless raisins. We're gonna put in there. You're gonna love this. I promise you will. Doll face, what's going on? Gonna put some raisins in there like so. Black currant, okay? Dried raisins. And I do like a lot of raisins, so I'm gonna put about half this bag in there. Our oven is going, so we're gonna get our container, right? And now we're gonna mix around these raisins, right? And this sweet potato pudding. We're not gonna use everything because that's a lot of raisins. So we're gonna mix it around. Somebody asked what's for dinner. Believe it or not, this is gonna be my dinner. Like a piece of it will be my dinner. You understand what I'm saying? That's it. I'm a very simple person. I don't eat meat every day and all this type of stuff. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay, so that's our paste right there. It's all complete, right? And what's in there? We have a lot of ingredients. Dry coconut, okay, sweet potato, because it is a sweet potato pudding, flour, sugar, cornmeal, a pinch of salt, vanilla, cinnamon stick, nutmegs, yam, a piece of cassava, okay, ginger root, pinch of salt. Did I say a pinch of salt? All this stuff is in there. Okay, we put all-purpose flour in there, and don't make the mistake and put self-rising flour. This is not a cake. Okay, it's a sweet potato pudding. Put your all-purpose flour you should put in there, right? And you mix it. The cinnamon sticks and the vanilla, it's kicking in there. When I smell it, oh my God! I'm telling you, man, I could eat this stuff right now as it is. Okay, plus our raisins, our dried raisins are in there. The oven is going, and guess what? This is what I'm gonna bake it in. Right? I'm gonna put a foil on the top. I'm gonna bake it in this. The reason why I'm gonna bake it in such a thin, layered container is because this is a very heavy food. Okay, one slice, you eat it, it knock you out, put you to sleep. So because it's a very heavy food, I don't want it too thick. I don't want the slices too thick. I prefer them thin. Okay, so I don't overdo it when I'm eating it, because I've done that in the past. Right? It's up to you how you want to do it. So first, we're going to put some foil paper in our container right here. Right? Because we're going to set it on top of this foil paper right here. Okay, and after our foil paper, what we're going to do is put some butter on top of this foil paper. Okay, well that was a perfect piece of foil paper because it matches the bin the exact size. Like you don't need another inch, it just fits right in there. Okay, and that comes from experience. When you've been doing something over a long period of time, you just get good at it. Okay, look at that foil paper right there, it just sits right in the pan, and it's like we don't need an inch more or less. Okay, boom. Now we're gonna put some butter. Okay, we're gonna put some butter inside this pan, let it melt. So when the butter melts, guess what? Now you're ready to pour your ingredient in it. Just put about this amount of butter in there, okay? Reason why you put butter is so it doesn't stick. It doesn't stick on the foil. Right? Let that butter swim around or whatever. And let it bake on top of the butter. So we're going to put this in the oven and let it melt away. As soon as it melts away, we're going to take it out, switch it around in the foil, and then we're going to pour ingredients on top of it. Remember, our oven is hot. It's already going. Okay? Put the butter in there. So in about 2 to 3 minutes, the butter will be hot. It's going to melt away. We're going to swish it around in the container. Then we're going to start pouring our sweet potato pudding in the container pan that it's going to be baked in, okay? And while that's going, guess what? We're going to clean up while that's going. It's literally going to take probably 2 to 3 minutes. And we're going to pour it in the container, okay? Well, I like to clean up as I go. That means when I'm done, I don't have all this work sitting in front of me to clean up. Then you're going to feel overwhelmed in the kitchen. So you got to learn how to utilize your time in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of people hate cooking. Because they don't realize that when you get in the kitchen, you don't waste time in the kitchen. Okay? You do the stuff fast. Don't waste time in the kitchen. You're going to feel overwhelmed. And then you're going to say that you hate to cook. You're going to hate cooking because you spend too much time in the kitchen. Okay? Your life has a lot more stuff to do than just cooking every day. So you can't spend too much time. I had a full day at work today. Got off work, took a shower, did a lot of phone calls. Now I'm doing this. You get what I'm saying? I'm not going to be in the kitchen for 10 hours. It's not my life. It's a part of it. That's it. Most people get overwhelmed in the kitchen. That's what they do. They spend so much time wasting time. You got to utilize time. new to lifestyle, I know that this butter is being melted. So what do I do in the meantime? Washing these dishes. As soon as I pour that in, all I gotta do is let it set in the oven, set a timer, right? And when it bakes, that's it. How do you know when it bakes? You test it. You use a fork, stick your mixture. You get what I'm saying? You can smell it, you can taste it, and if you have an eye for it, eventually you're gonna learn over time when it's baked. Okay? And you're gonna smell it too. Because it smells really delicious as it is right now, just being the mix itself. You understand? This mixture right here smells extremely delicious. I'm telling you. Because of the nutmeg and the vanilla, right, the cinnamon sticks, it has that nice flavor of cinnamon to it. Okay? Which is one of my favorite flavors. Cinnamon is just a nice sparkly flavor. You know what I'm saying? And that's that. But about now, I think the butter is probably being melted right now. I'm just about done washing these dishes and all the grater and the stuff that I use for the sink to get this meal ready and prepared. Right? And we did say utilize your time in the kitchen. That way you don't feel overwhelmed and dread going in the kitchen, okay? Your kitchen loves you. All you got to do is love your kitchen back by keeping it clean. Understand? Cook some food, okay? And don't let your baking pans and your pots suffer. A lot of people suffer their baking pans and pots. Why? Because they don't cook in them. You know what I'm saying? So the entire job that they were about to do just sits there, never get to do anything with them, and they never bake, not even once per year. Okay? Okay, so we're almost done cleaning up these dishes. A lot of utensils we use to bake. We need tools to do the job, get it done right. That's all. Baking is simple and easy. This pudding could probably feed a family of 5, right, for 2 days in a row, possibly 3 days. You understand? And have leftovers for your neighbors, if you live that well. You understand what I'm saying? Take a slice for your coworker, your favorite aunt down the road. Show some love. Like, here's a pudding that I bake, a potato pudding. I saw this guy on YouTube or TikTok, whatever it is. His name is Big Muscle. He was in the kitchen baking. You know what I'm saying? And I learned to bake a Jamaican pudding. I don't know where in the world you are. You could be in Norway, right? You could be anywhere. Switzerland, Jamaica, in Finland. You could be in Nigeria, Uganda, St. Kitts, Nevis, Guyana. You're somewhere in the world. I don't know where you're at. But what I do know is that you're on YouTube and you're on TikTok watching this sweet potato pudding be baked. Right? Some people, it's their first time seeing Jamaican sweet potato being baked in real time, live on TikTok and YouTube at once. Right? Which brings up another thing. For those who aren't following me on YouTube, if you're on TikTok, you're not following me on YouTube, please do so, because TikTok is suppressing my videos ever since January 22nd. I guess I'm not supposed to talk about Donald Trump. I mean, his friends has sharing TikTok, so it only makes sense. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, Larry Ellison, that name keeps coming up every single time. So it only makes sense that my videos are getting suppressed on TikTok. Right? So, yeah. You don't want me to talk about Donald Trump. Truth tellers are having a very difficult time these days with Trump in charge, right? I can see it. So let's get back to this pudding. All right, so the butter is melted, right? So now the oven is hot and steamy. I could feel it. All right. Okay, so there's your butter. It's melted. We're gonna smoosh it around. Smoosh it around. All right, close this oven. It's behind you. Be careful in your kitchen, okay? Smoosh the butter around in the pan like this. Okay, I can't believe it's not butter. Well, I could believe it's butter. You smoosh it around. So now you know that butter is all over the bottom of the pan. So all you got to do is pour your mixture in there like so. Here we go. And spread it even, Steven. You see how thick it is? That's how you want this mix to be thick. What's making it this thick is that flour. The all-purpose flour that you put in there, it's making it very thick. Okay, you notice how it's running very sluggish? That's how you want it. You want it right about at this mix right here. About this mix right here is a good mix. You don't want it to be more watery than this. Okay, it's going to make your pudding soft. And don't put too much flour in there. It's going to make your sweet potato pudding too bindy. You don't want it too bindy. When it's done, you should just bite it and have a nice bite. You get what I'm saying? A nice bite with a glass of milk. It's best served with milk. Okay, you can have it with lemonade or whatever. But a glass of milk will do you a lot of justice with this sweet potato pudding. So you just mush it around in your baking pan like so. Right? And we use a thin baking pan. Remember I told you why we use this thin baking pan? Because it's a very heavy meal. Right? And this also gives you a faster baking. This also will result in a faster bake. It will bake quicker. Okay? How do you know when it's baked? Just get a fork, stick it into it, look in the middle. Which this baking pan is about 1 inch thick. 1 inch thick. So it's a very thin sweet potato pudding, okay? Very, very thin. Now let's smell that mix again. My God! It's good. Yeah, I'm gonna have a slice of this for dinner, and I'm taking some for work tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. I think this will be baked in probably about an hour or so. Okay? Because it's very thin. It's not these thick. You see this pan? 1 inch. It's about 1 inch thick, okay? That's it. So we shake it down, even in the pan. Even in the pan, okay? Okay, so that's our sweet potato pudding mix. Now we're gonna put it in the oven, and it's gonna be baked and be in your tummy, and you're gonna say yummy, okay? Okay, here goes in the oven, right? Let me give you a sneak peek inside the oven. So there you go. That's it right there inside the oven. Let it bake. Turn it up to about 400 right there. Okay, that's it. A very thin pan. You don't need these thick pans to be baking your sweet potato pudding in, okay? And these are my people on YouTube. Okay, so we put it at 400. We just turn it up. Notice that? 400. Right? We just turned it up to 400. So within an hour, hour and a half, it should be baked, okay? That's that. Okay, so now my people on TikTok, now it's your turn to see inside this oven. Uh-huh. All right. Flip camera. There you go. All right, you turn it up to 400. You can keep it on 350 if you have some time. This is going to be a quick bake. I already know that. Okay, doll face, thanks for the lights. All right, so that's it. So now we close our oven and let it bake. So my next live will probably be in an hour, hour and a half when it's done baking. That's going to be my next live, okay? So we're going to end these lives for right now. So YouTube and TikTok. If you're not following me on YouTube, please do so. The people on TikTok, please go to YouTube. It's pinned up the top of my TikTok video at Big Muscle Adventure. That's my handle on YouTube. So if you look at the top of my profile, at the top of my videos, one of those top videos on my TikTok profile, you're going to see my YouTube handle in one of those videos that I'm telling you about. The video beside a lady who was telling you about all types of stuff, right? Look at that video. You'll see my YouTube handle. Go subscribe to my YouTube because I'm not going to be very active on TikTok. I'm going to be more active on YouTube doing a lot more live streams. Okay, I've been saying this for like a month now, and now it's happening. You know what I'm saying? That's it. So we're going to wrap this up. So once again, this is your sweet potato pudding, the Jamaican way, the easy way, not the old school way where you use this grater, right? The old school way of making Jamaican sweet potato pudding is with this. The new school way is with this blender right here. Fast and easy. Okay, we've been live streaming for 46 minutes. It's already cut up. It's in the oven. The entire process is here on YouTube. The live will be saved. All my YouTube lives are saved. You get what I'm saying? All my lives. The people on TikTok, if you want to see this video, get over to YouTube so you could watch it from start to finish. The entire process is on YouTube. Get onto YouTube, go into my live videos, go into my YouTube profile, go into my live settings, my live videos, and watch the full video over there, okay? Because it will be saved. It won't be saved on TikTok. It's going to be saved on YouTube, okay? So that's it. So catch me in about an hour. When it's done baking, I'm going to go back live in probably an hour, hour and a half, and I'm going to show you what the finished products looks like in about an hour and a half, okay? It's big muscle. I'll stay on the hustle. Catch me in the next live. Peace.